Today we are trying out the new Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation with the brush. I purchased the brush because they say that it is the best way to apply it. The new brush with the foundation, okay, but you know we're gonna do one side with the brush and one side with my beloved way to apply with the Beauty Blender, and we're going to be wearing this all day. I will do check-ins throughout the day and at the end of the night, up close shots in natural lighting. You're gonna see it all, nothing to hide here. So let's get started. I started seeing reviews popping up about this foundation. I guess people got it in PR. I immediately ordered it because it sounded wonderful. It is supposed to be inspired by Hourglass's Ambient Glow line. So think, blurred, soft, lit skin is what I guess they were going for. So I blindly ordered my shade in the shade 6. I think it might be either my perfect shade to match my self-tan right now. Actually, my natural tan. Or it might be a little too dark. But I will also today be comparing this to the Vanish foundation because they sound very similar in performance. The only difference is this is medium coverage and this is full coverage. They claim, half a pump gets you a full coverage situation. This foundation, the Ambient Soft Glow Foundation, is medium coverage, and you get 1 fluid ounce for $58. It says it's a weightless liquid foundation that delivers medium coverage that can be built up to full coverage. It's supposed to last 16 hours. It says it's waterproof, transfer proof, so we're definitely going to be testing that out during our workout today, and I will be filming updates during my sweatiness. We can really see, this is the first time I'm trying this, if this is true about sweat proof, heat proof, transfer proof, all that stuff, so we'll see. It says that it has light diffusing pigments in it, like the soft glow powders. I don't own any of those. I never found them to be truly incredible for my skin. I much prefer the Laura Mercier Candle Glow powder. Now I know a lot of people love the Hourglass setting powders. They just didn't do it for me and my dry skin. So the effect this is supposed to give is a soft focus finish, and it helps protect against blue light. It's supposed to blur imperfections, fine lines, and wrinkles. It has white tea extract, vitamin E, and antioxidants. It's vegan. It has a natural finish, and I find that when Sephora says, or a brand says like a natural finish, on me ends up being a little more glowy, so I'm excited to see if this has a glowy finish or a truly just natural finish. Now we have the brush. I want to take a quick break to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare. If you're not familiar with Skillshare, it is an online community where you can learn specific skills. If you're wanting to learn something new, they will have a class that will match your interests and the skills you want to learn. They have classes stemming from freelancing in your career all the way to graphic design, photography, yoga, crafting. There's so many different classes that you may find super interesting. And right now, the first 1,000 people to use my link below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. I was personally interested in joining Skillshare for a really long time because I knew that they had really cool classes that I wanted to take and new skills that I wanted to learn to elevate my career and also just elevate my personal relaxation in my life. If you watch my channel at all, you know that I love to work out and I'm super interested in health and fitness. So this month, I decided to take a class that would challenge me on my flexibility. So I found Yoga for Flexibility, 15 Minutes and 15 Days by Abby Carver. She takes you along a 15-day journey to improve your flexibility from head to toe. It only takes 15 minutes each day. Abby guides you through a quick warm-up, a static and dynamic flexibility flow, and ends with a really super relaxing cool down. When I decided to take Abby's class, I looked at the reviews and I saw that there were other people that also work out, lift weights, but struggle with flexibility overall. And this is a really wonderful class if you really need to start incorporating more flexibility movements and exercises in your workout routine, or maybe you're just interested in starting a yoga practice. So either join me in learning how to be more flexible by taking Abby's Yoga for Flexibility class, or choose your own journey this month and click that link below and get a month free of Skillshare and start learning the skills you want to learn. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back into it. Okay, I never buy brushes to go with foundations just because I prefer on my skin to use a beauty sponge, a damp one, just because my skin is very sensitive, dry, and I feel like when I use a brush, I'm just kind of sloughing up any kind of irritation or dryness that might already be there. This brush is $47. It is vegan. This is not animal hair. But the interesting thing to me, as soon as I opened it, it looked a lot like a lot of brushes that I already have. I believe all of these are vegan as well. Like, this looks almost identical to the Rare Beauty foundation brush. This brush is claiming, or Hourglass is claiming, that it's supposed to mimic fingers and like fingertips because it's so soft and dense. I think that these feel almost the same. This is obviously much bigger. There's more bristles here than this. If I'm gonna like the brush, I'm trying to be a little, impartial, because it's hard for me to be impartial when it comes to foundation brushes, just because it's not my preferred way. But if it is, I don't know if this brush is special. We're about to find out. But Rare Beauty has a concealer brush and a foundation brush in the same shape. Fenty, this is very similar, except the what is this called? This part of the brush, I don't know. This comes up higher in the back of the brush. And then we have, I believe this is Anise Beauty, but I've had this brush for a long time and they are also very similar. So this isn't like groundbreaking type of shape. I think that this is interesting because it doesn't say what skin type this foundation is best with. The Vanish, however, says it's best for normal to oily skin, and I found that it did well on my dry skin. It's just not a foundation that I reach for anymore because years have gone by and I have found better. Okay, now we're going to apply. Close up on those pores, the fun stuff. Now, I only have my skincare on, no primer, no special prep, nothing, because when you are spending $60 on a foundation, I think that the foundation should be the foundation of the entire makeup look. It should be doing all of the work on its own. If you're a packaging person, when you open this box, it's a little disappointing. You're only getting a glass tube like this. I much prefer packaging like this. And this is obviously very personal, but I think the shape of this is wonderful and just kind of unique. This just looks like any foundation I might have lying around. So if you're somebody who has multiple foundations in their collection, when you're looking to pick out a foundation for the day, the weather, what your skin is doing at the moment, it's really nice to be able to tell the difference by packaging. So you can look and grab the foundation you're looking for. If you have a bottle like this, it just kind of blends in. It's almost like the size of Tarte Shape Tape, honestly, concealer. It's very small. I know it's probably like better for the earth because it's less glass. Okay, I'm only speaking on liking packaging being a little different. Use less glass, but maybe like give us like a little something, maybe like an indentation. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys feel about packaging and how important it is to you. It's very important to me. You get this lid here, which whatever. This lid, however, is very sturdy and like nice and thick. This one you can actually bend. So that's kind of a bummer when you're spending that much money on a high-end foundation. I really want at least the lid to feel high-end, So here's the pump. Now, if you are new to my channel, then let me tell you, pumps are very important to me because I like to be able to control the amount of product I'm applying to my face. Just like little pumps to build up coverage. I prefer that than just like squirting out a bunch of product that I may not use. So we'll see about this pump here. Okay, I feel like the product's about to come out, so okay. That's how much comes out with one pump, full pump. Let's see if I can Okay, that just went everywhere. I feel like I had kind of a bad attitude about the brush, so let's just calm down. Maybe I might love it. So right now I'm feeling like this might be a little yellow for me, and I honestly feel like, because I'm using half the amount that I pumped on my hand, and I feel like it is going a long way, like a little is going a long way with coverage. That looks like it's too much. Oh wow, okay. So before I go ahead and take the rest on the other side of my face, shade 6 looks a little yellow for me, and I am more yellow undertoned. This looks like almost like a mask. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So this is half a pump, pretty much, that I just applied, and a little goes a long way. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so I don't see any downsides to the brush right now. I don't feel like it, kicked up any dryness or irritation or anything like that. Yeah, it's not bad. It is very soft. I don't know if it's like $47 soft, but we're about to see if this might be something that you definitely need with this foundation. So we're gonna apply the other side with a damp beauty sponge. This is the Huda Beauty one. It has like a flat side. I love this. So I'm gonna try, I just put some on here. I'm gonna try again to get a controlled pump. Okay, so that was controlled. Maybe it went everywhere because it was just the first few pumps, really. So it might have, been trying to get warmed up or something. So immediately I'm noticing that a little goes a long way with the brush, because this is about the same amount that I just applied on this side of the face. Maybe you need the brush with this, which would be a bummer, because it makes it a $100 foundation, not a $58 foundation. The coverage is a lot less with the sponge, which is like normal or whatever, but this sponge does not soak up a lot of product. So I'm surprised to see the coverage difference right now. Okay, so this side of my face is the brush. This side of my face is the sponge. 6 is way too yellow for me. I feel like the side that I use the sponge on almost mattified. So this is a brush. I feel like you can see a little more of the texture than I would normally like. This is the sponge side. I feel like I'm seeing a lot less texture, especially around my cheeks. That's super interesting. It's almost like the side that I applied the with the brush. It's like the foundation is just kind of laying on top of my skin, not even necessarily like melding with it. And then this side kind of created a nice like cast over my face. Okay, well, we'll leave it halfsies, and I have another video to film, so that'll be an interesting look. I don't know if I necessarily prefer it with the brush. Maybe if I would have used less product. And I will always update you guys in the blog portion of the info box. I'll try it again with the brush with less product and see how we like it and go from there, whether to return it or not. I'm not going to powder this down because, again, if a foundation is claiming to be 16-hour wear or however long, I want to see if it lasts on its own. If they didn't make that claim, we'd powder it, but we're not going to. We're just going to leave it on its own and see how it performs. By the way, this was the shade Warm Ivory, and this is the shade 6. Let's do a little comparison. I feel like Hourglass's shades and descriptions on things sometimes can be a little off, like when it comes to the understanding of what, what you're buying. Oh wow, 6 and Warm Ivory are very close. So this is 6, and this is Warm Ivory. Warm Ivory is definitely a little pinker. And this is the shade 6. I think Warm Ivory would definitely be a better match, something that would be more like Warm Ivory in this lineup than 6. I feel like just even taking the time to swatch these, this foundation has changed. Right now I feel like it looks pretty airbrushed. Let's just take a look. It looks like it's sitting on my skin better than it was, you know, first applied. I will say this, I do feel like it is blurring, especially around my nose, which is my major concern with pores and things. That looks really blurred. Underneath my eyes looks a little iffy, but that's okay because we'll, you know, apply concealer and kind of fix that up. It feels like it's setting on its own, actually. So that's just kind of a strange feeling, but it feels like it's setting on its own, like you don't need powder anyway. Okay, it has been 30-ish minutes and I applied the rest of my makeup. And as I was applying it, I felt like this foundation just like completely changed. I feel like it mattified a little. It got even more of like a soft blur effect. It just looks very airbrushed. I will say I feel like right now I prefer the side that I applied with the sponge because I think that the brush almost laid down too much product. This was the first time that I applied this foundation. So maybe if you applied less and used the brush, it might look better. But I do feel like it looks a little cakey around this area versus this area with the sponge. Even like up close, I feel like I can see a little more fine lineage around smile lines and things like that. I will say this though, I just put eye drops in because my contacts are super dry and they kind of rolled down my face and nothing happened. I even kind of took a towel really quickly and just kind of pressed the skin where the eye drops went, and I don't even see like a line. Eye drop proof, so that's cool. Of course, we're gonna find out if it's sweat proof, waterproof during our workout in a little bit, but when I applied it, it looked really yellow. I think it probably oxidized a little and maybe they planned for that or something because it's not nearly as yellow as it was when I first applied it. I don't mind this shade on my skin when I am tanned. Pretty decent, and I would say I'm probably an NC20 to NC25 right now, and the shade 6, it seems to be working out. I don't know if it'll oxidize even more after, you know, an hour or two. We'll find out. I want to quickly go over the rest of my makeup though. For concealer, I used my Hourglass Vanish, and I love the packaging. I think the packaging is way more interesting than this. In the shade Silk, I've been loving this shade recently. This is just like a holy grail concealer I've used for years. For blush, I used the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream Powder Blush in She's Baked. It's like a really beautiful deep rust. You get the cream and the powder. I only used the cream today. It's really pretty. I don't know. I like it. It looks a little sun-kissed. For highlight, I used the Cosmetics Sunscape Highlighter in Clarity. Just on my cheeks here, I wanted to wear highlighter because I normally wear highlighter, but I didn't apply it anywhere else because I want to see how glowy this gets over the next few hours, or matte. I didn't want to play with the finish of the foundation too much, so I only applied the highlight to my cheeks. For eyeshadow, I used Cosmetics Divine Skies eyeshadow palette in Da Vinci, which is this really beautiful like warm eyeshadow palette, and I only used these two shades. So this shade is in my crease. This shade is a little further out on the eyeball. Bronzer, I used the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin bronzer in the shade Fair, One Fair Pale. And I used the brush. Now this is a brush that's worth buying. Used this as bronzer only in the contour of my cheeks and a little bit on the forehead. Again, I didn't want to play too much with the finish of the foundation or the shade. I really wanted to keep that true to whatever they had planned. And to set my concealer, I used the Laura Mercier Candle Glow Perfecting Powder in the shade 1 just under my eyes. I baked with the new Laura Mercier Tone Up Powder, which I talked about in a recent high-end favorites video, which I'll link below. This is the new, Tone Up Powder in the shade Rose. It has a little bit of a pink tint, so it really brightens the under eye area. It's supposed to like tone up the skin and stuff. I really like the way this looks under my eyes, so I baked with that. For mascara, Clio Kill Lash Superproof Mascara Extreme Volume all over, and then for the bottom lashes, I used the Kill Lash in the long curling. I recently worked with them on an Amazon favorites video because they were my Amazon mascara favorites, and these are tubing mascaras, and I haven't put them down like since they sent these to me. This is the lengthening one. It's got like a shorter applicator, and then it's rounded on one side. I really like it for the lower lash. This lip combo, M Cosmetics posted about this. They reposted a reel that someone did, and I was like, that's genius. It is the Soft Blur Velvet Lip Liner in the shade Foxy, and this is one of the soft blurs that I don't really get a lot of use out of because it is pretty dark. It's hard to pair with other lipsticks without looking too contrasting. But in the reel, the girl used the lip cushion in Mona Lisa, and it's like the most perfect taupe shade, and I already loved this one, and it's such a good duo. So just apply this all over the lips, blur it out, and then apply Mona Lisa right over. It's wonderful, and I'm getting really great use out of Foxy. Usually I use Teddy or Kitten or Fawn. Those are like my go-tos, and Foxy is just kind of like one of those that I always wish I could use, and now I'm using it a lot. I like it. Natural light shots. We're in front of the window, so in natural light, ooh, girl, it looks good, I think. Even in my crappy bathroom lighting, I feel like it looked pretty decent, but maybe you guys could see what I'm talking about here. This area just looks a little cakier than this area. This is the side that I used the brush. This is the side that I used the sponge. So let's do this. Let's scan up. So keeping that in mind, you can tell where I missed around my mouth. Who let me be a beauty influencer? I feel like this is a decent match for me though. 6, I think she's a match. It warmed up a little. It definitely oxidized. So keeping in mind that this is the brush side, this is the sponge side. Pan up, girl. Is that a lot? Nope, that's just from my sinus surgery. That's just the angle of my nose because my septum is failing me and my nostrils are collapsing. So anyway, moving on from that. I feel like the brush isn't my favorite, so I mean $50, I think I might get my money back. But this foundation is looking pretty dang good. It's reminding me of Armani Luminous Silk, to be honest. The way it feels, it does feel weightless. So feeling weightless, the finish of it is definitely natural, leaning towards matte, which is what reminds me of the Armani Luminous. I don't feel like Armani Luminous ever looks luminous on me. It just gives me like a perfected type of canvas, and I feel like that's what this is doing. It's reminding me of Armani Luminous a lot. So I have one more video to film, and then we have a workout, and then we have the end of the night shots. Here's like no lighting at all, you know? I mean, it looks pretty good, to be honest. I'm kind of impressed. I wasn't thinking that I would love this so much. I was just excited because I saw there was a new foundation out. Let's see if it's really waterproof. All right, it has been a few hours now, and I feel like this foundation is just like getting better. I still think that I prefer the sponge side, but honestly, it's not as cakey as it was at first, and I'm shocked. Like, my face actually looks blurred. Now remember, there is no setting powder. My forehead, this side. I mean, okay, so we're about to do our workout and see if it is sweat proof and all that stuff. I have my air off in here so you can hear what I'm saying, because I do have window units because this is an older house. So I've turned the air off. We're gonna get a little hot and sweaty and see how this lasts. Ooh, this might be a surprising winner, and I say surprising just because other than like the Hourglass Vanish concealer, I haven't had the best luck with Hourglass's coverage products. So I'm gonna put my hair up in a clip. I think we can safely wrap up this video. I just finished my workout, which was upper body and abs, and I am sweaty. Girl, where'd you go? My overall thoughts. I think I'm gonna keep this foundation. I thought I was gonna return it when I bought it, just because I figured it'd be better for like oilier skin types and not really great for dry skin. But this is really nice. I have not seen any texture issues today, other than this area here, which this is the side I applied the foundation with the brush. So I feel like I really have some texture issues there, but honestly, I feel like it's a very minimal problem to have right now with this foundation. I prefer the side with the sponge. I don't think there's anything special about this brush. Surprise, surprise, it's another day. It's a new day, it's a new dawn, and I'm going to try this instead of updating you in the blog portion. I'm going to try it right now. The entire face, the Ambient Soft Glow foundation with the brush. I'm going to do the entire face. I'm going to apply less product, which I think was the big problem with doing the first side with the brush. Now I feel like I know the product better, the brush better, so we're going to see. I'm going to go ahead and pump a little bit on the back of my hand, bring you in. I'm going to start by putting just a little bit from my hand on my face, just to, you know, see how much we can build up without getting cakey. Because that was the biggest problem, was it just looked so cakey, but I think it was just because I had too much product and we were doing one side of the face instead of going from the center out, which is what I usually like to do because that's where you want more coverage and you don't want a line, so you want less foundation on the outer portions of the face. I'm just gonna add where I need it. And you have work time with this foundation, so you don't have to worry about it setting before you can get it blended out. So I'm definitely, as I'm applying this, not seeing the same problem that I had around my smile lines. It just looked so crepey right there, but that's where I had the majority of the foundation. So this coverage is not even a full pump, and I still have quite a bit left on the back of my hand, and I don't think right now I need to build it up anywhere. It looks pretty decent. I think that I still prefer the beauty sponge, but this is not nearly as bad as it was the other day. Like right now I want to go in with like a damp sponge. Oh my god, I have a brush here. I want to go in with a damp sponge just to kind of like press it into my skin. That's one thing that I think lacks in applying with a brush is like being able to press the product into the skin better. But it's not bad. I would say first impressions, way better than the other day, but not enough to make me think that this brush is worth $50. Because like I said, it turns it into a $100 foundation. Not bad. There's the pores. This was the problem area, and I think it looks better today than it did. And it's very even. Not really patchy. Well, I don't know. I can see some patchiness right here. Let me know when you guys apply with a brush. Do you just like leave it as is, or do you go in and kind of press the foundation in? Because I know makeup artists who use brushes for coverage products, and they always go in and press it a little more into the skin. I've never personally known a makeup artist to just be like, done with the brush. There's always like a little touch up after the brush application. So let me know what you do. But yeah, I think she's definitely gonna go back because I'm still feeling the need to press it into the skin. But if you like applying with a brush, this is not a bad brush. It is soft. You don't get any poking or anything like that. It applies decently, but like I said, the Rare Beauty one, it's a quicker application because it's a bigger brush. This is $28 and this is $47. Not cool enough to keep. Turn it $50. But the foundation, I feel like I literally airbrush. Look at my pores. Now, those of you who've watched me for a while, you know how I feel about my pores around my nose. And I feel like it really did blur them. And the rest of my face looks really good. I don't feel like anything built up between my eyebrows, even after sweating. Again, I'm telling you, I dropped a lot of eye drops down my face. There is no line there. There's no lines on my forehead from sweating. This foundation may end up, if it doesn't break me out, which again, that'll be an update for the info box. If it doesn't break me out, I think I'm gonna keep her. You guys let me know. I mean, is it just me or do my pores look super blurred? And my chin is usually a really big problem area, and I just feel like my skin looks good. I feel like I look airbrushed and, you know, very soft focus. I don't feel like this foundation oxidized any more than it did right in, I can't get comfortable, right in the beginning. So I feel like number 6 would definitely be my summer shade. Just one day, a full day of wear, full day of work, a workout, a full day, she looks good. And I would say that there is a huge difference in the look of these. This is fuller coverage, but this is definitely a more dewy finish than this. This overall has more of a satin finish to me. Other than, you know, I applied highlighter to my cheeks, my forehead got a little glowy. Otherwise, it's like a nice in-between of natural and satin, I would say. This is a little bit dewier. I like it. So let me know in the comments below if you're gonna try this foundation, or if you've tried it, did you try it with a brush? Did you try it with a sponge? Let us know. We all need to know. I don't even feel like I have foundation on my face. It's a pretty good feeling, especially after a freaking sweaty workout. Okay, goodbye.